And now I'd like to welcome Bogusław Chrabota, editor-in-chief at Rzeczpospolita.
Hello, nice to be here.
Hello, thank you for joining us today. So here we are, Monday after the local elections are all done and over with. We know the results. Let's start off right there with the turnout. 51.5% according to exit polls. Is that acceptable, or is that
not very much? Majority of experts thought that it will be a bit higher, comparing to what happened in October.
Right.
In October, it's 25%
less.
Less. So it's a shock for some people, but not for us, because these elections, local government elections, are not very much exciting. No, but from my point of view, it's the part of the same game, because these elections are just another chapter of a big confrontation between two dominant powers in Polish politics, means the right and the liberals. So being a part between, parliamentary and Euro-parliamentary elections, it was shadowed by big politics, by party politics, for sure.
Right, the coalition and
Law and Justice, right? And I actually wanted to ask about that because technically Law and Justice gained the most votes, right? But it doesn't really translate into anything in practice.
Into a big victory.
In fact, liberals, Democrats get a bit bigger number that in October. Yeah, according to these exit polls, Prawo i Sprawiedliwość means Law and Justice lost just about 2 points. This is not a big loss, but I think that it presents, from one side, the power of Law and Justice. It's still a dominant power on the right.
Right.
And it was too early to say that they are dying. Yeah. So I think that we can expect a big portion of votes taken also in Euro-parliamentary elections by Law and Justice. From the other side, we are going a bit down. So I find Platforma Obywatelska, the Civic Platform, and Donald Tusk as winners of this confrontation. But it's still, the same big game about the future of Polish democracy that you have from the one side, central, and a bit authoritarian party conducted by Kaczyński, and from the other side, liberals conducted by Tusk.
Right. Now, there's talk of Law and Justice trying to form a partnership with Lewica. If I'm not mistaken, there's been some signals. I think Mr. Sasin said something to that effect on TVP Info. These are local elections, right? So we can't look at this under the same guise.
In a big politics, it's impossible for Kaczyński party to find coalition. It's impossible because we are very much limited in this. No possibility in Polish politics today. But on a local level, everything is possible. So even last seasons, we watched a lot of small coalitions between, really big competitors from the point of view of state politics. So I think that just according to these results we have, to exit polls, they will lose 2 probably local parliaments. But they can make some coalitions in the others. So what we need, just to be patient and just wait for the final results, and just basing on the final results, we can figure what will be the number of coalitions dominated by PiS in local parliaments. I think that they will not reach the same level it was 5 years ago, means 8 of them, probably 6.
Right, but my feeling is that on this local level, right, sort of personal politics also matter. For instance, Rafał Trzaskowski was re-elected, right, for the mayor of Warsaw, and I feel like it was more about him than about him sort of being a part of the Civic Coalition, right?
You are right, yes, and because of a very, very, understandable and very universal rule that the winners are guys who are multi-cadency promoted candidates. So in every big city that you had a president, the mayor, who was in power, let's say 2 or 3 cadences, it was an advantage for him to win. So Trzaskowski is one of them. So it was no question who will win in Warsaw.
Right. Now, were there any big disappointments that you can identify out there? Is there some areas where people had different expectations as far as?
I mean, for me, I have just according to the knowledge I have, the really disappointment is the result in the city of Gdynia. That multi-cadency mayor, Mr. Szczurek, even didn't pass to the second round of elections. And I have 2, surprises. First, relatively low result of left, because according to the results from October, we lost 2%.
Right.
It's a lot of. That's a lot of.
Below Konfederacja, right?
And Konfederacja is just a stable power, but another surprise was the power of peace. According to the scandals we reveal every day, in the Polish press and media, it's very surprising that they have such a solid electorate, solid voters who will vote for them in any case. So probably next elections, European and presidential, we should take care of the power of electorate peace still controls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be important for the European elections.
For sure. And I also wanted to ask about, any potential dark horses, any surprises when it comes to the winners.
We'll wait for a final result, and it will be the right time just to answer your question.
That's right. There's still a few runoffs, as I understand it. So we don't know the exact final results.
I'm presenting a bit of general point of view, not very much, specific, because I'm still waiting for new surprises and the final data.
Right. Well, based on the data that we have here, if we can say that the turnout comes close to 51.5%, upcoming European elections, usually turnout is pretty low. It's usually the lowest for European elections. Yeah, it's around the 40% mark.
We will see the weather forecast.
Right.
Because, as you know, in the sunny days in this country, people go for barbecue, not for voting. But I think that we have a similar level of turnout in June, at the beginning of June. And that's another part of a big game in Polish politics, as I told you at the very beginning, between right and liberals. That's another chapter of the same book.
Well, right, and when we get that data, it's going to be really interesting to see what age groups didn't show up, right?
Yeah.
Because that would also dictate whether which kind of party.
I think that the group, big cities, people and young generation, because of Easter time and vacations they had, didn't participate in a way we expected. That's one of the reasons that these numbers are not so high.
Right, and people rallied to the polls in October, right? And now, of course, the turnout was pretty low, so there's a big contrast. But I wonder, in terms of the European Parliament elections, do you think that politicians will make a conscious effort to get people to vote? Can we expect anything?
That's not always because of the effort. I can imagine that the effort for Europe Parliament will be strong on both sides. But the final chapter of the game, these are presidential elections next year, 2025, because that will be the expectation from one side and on the other. We'll have president who will support liberals or right side. If another guy from right side comes, the reforms of Tusk will be very under big question mark.
Right. It could be actually impossible. Before we go, who do you think are going to be the big names in that election?
Trzaskowski for sure.
For sure.
And Aleksandra Dulkiewicz in Gdańsk for sure. And probably Żuk in Lublin again. And these strong figures of multi-cadency mayors who are really the kings of the show, I think. were ruling, running the show.
I've heard maybe former General Andrzejczak could enter the fray.
We'll see.
Would that be interesting?
Maybe.
You know, an apolitical guy, a military guy. That I think it would be.
But I mean, from the point of view of local governments, this is not a huge number. That is,
Right, but for president of
yeah.
Poland,
of course.
yeah,
Of course.
absolutely.
Yes.
All right, well,
Thank you very much.
I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Let's meet again and analyze, the final.
Yes. We will
Final
definitely
results.
invite you back. Thank you very
Thank you.
much for joining
Thank
us
you.
today.
Have a good day.
Thank you.